It's great, a great song by Bad Company. Bad Company. It's their band, and what they talk about. Well, you know what, folks? That's our crown. All of them. We've got grotesque Governor General of Canada, Mary Simon. The panic of the crown is explosive this week. It's so explosive, the American government is sitting stunned, and I could add explicits to back that up, but I have so much work in the UNSC over the next 7 days, folks. Even last 6 days, I shouldn't say that. I have to submit on the 10th on Governor Mary Simon and Premier Scott Moe. I can't even present our piece of shit Prime Minister and His Majesty's official opposition, Pierre Poilievre. It's sick, folks. It's sick. It's so far rotten what I'm going to share with you guys that it's almost unimaginable. And they're reaching so hard, so corrupt. I just can't believe it. Even the allies of World War II can't believe it. When I say that, I mean USA standing there like, are you kidding me? And it's true. It's true. Pierre Poilievre sends out a petition. Everybody sign my petition. We're going to petition Governor General Mary Simon to remove Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party of Canada. Folks, Pierre Poilievre is His Majesty's official opposition leader. He already knows he's sworn to Governor General Mary Simon, who, as I speak and give you this video, where just days ago Russia gave an open invite on the UNSC higher than filthy Justin Trudeau and dirty, corrupt Mary Simon and filthy, corrupt Pierre Poilievre. Folks, I got a higher stage than them right now. And I am highlighting Mary Simon as fast as I can do that, as fast as she's run to King Charles III. Not only did she run to him, she threatens all the chiefs who are standing up to Scott Moe and the Saskatchewan First Act to steal land resources, not only from the subjects, not only from you taxpayers, but to steal land from the First Peoples. She's going to the chiefs in her crown underneath Justin Trudeau and, yes, official opposition leader, His Majesty's official opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, who says not a word about it. They're so panicking right now, folks, of what's going to happen with Russia next week and going into after Easter. After they sift through that, we have a back door through Colombia. If you didn't see Texas, I went through and I met basically the equivalent of Chief Justice of Colombia with no majesty attached, folks. No majesty, meaning that is an independent judiciary. That audience I have with the independent judiciary of Colombia on the UNSC stage that I locked in Texas is going to be mine. Mine and all First Peoples, all Canadians. Well, they all panic. Mary Simon now, come on, all chiefs in Canada, come with me. Let's re-cement with King Charles III. Wow. 0.2% of Canada. That's what you got with King Charles III. Like after 300 years, and absolutely in the last 150 years since the implementation of 1867, and of course the Indian Act 1876, like King Charles is going to do anything for the First Peoples in Canada, except for cement them forever as savages underneath guys like Justin Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre. Oh, and Canadians, quickly sign the petition to Mary Simon so you guys can be locked in forever and a day as the slaves who pay these autocratic politicians in the name of King Charles III. Quick, sign the petition. If you do, Pierre Poilievre won't create any new taxes. Well, I guess not, folks. Look at carbon tax. Look how much more taxes we're paying. Look at the government inflation we're paying today. I'm going to remind every Canadian, Conservative, Liberal, NDP alike, does anybody who's old enough to remember GST remember that that was only temporary, just to balance the budget? Don't worry, it's just temporary. It's only going to be 3 short years. Folks, it's 2023. Where's GST today? What happened to corporate registry of the provinces and GST? What's happened to every company in Canada, even though they're provincial for the mass majority? Unless you're into Section 91 corporate businesses or you're working abroad, why are you paying GST? Why is there a federal registry to hold every company in Canada to the power of the federal government when it's clearly a provincial power? Section 92 to 144. Why? Why? Where is the filthy, lying Pierre Poilievre on that file? That's more than 30 years old, folks. 3 years, 30 years later. No new taxes? How about you cut all the bullshit? When are these low-life, degenerate, National Socialist, fascist, Liberals, Conservatives, Greens, PPC under Maxime Bernier, total fraud. Total fraud. Every single one of them. And they have the audacity to do an e-petition, sucking all of you in to rat on yourself to their crown that they're sworn to so they can cheat you. Liberal, Conservative, NDP, they all welcome, and they treat you like a bunch of slave savages, no good, no nothings, subject to their reign of terror. No new taxes, cut the red tape. That's Pierre Poilievre's platform. No new taxes. How about you cut out all the inflationary taxes brought in by the Liberals? Oh, you don't do that. Conservatives have never, ever done that. In fact, in the history of all conservatives, not only have they created just as many taxes and fees as their counterpart Liberals, they've never, ever once scrapped one, ever. Don't believe me? Look at the history of income tax. Never scrapped. Never in the history of Canada. It's just for the war. Trust us. It's just to balance the budget. Trust us. It's to save the environment. Trust us. It's for global initiatives to make business more competitive. Trust us. As never in the history of Canada has foreign investment flown away so fast and at such large numbers. Taxpayer subsidized everything. Never in the Canadian history in the last 20 years, which is shared with Liberals and Conservatives almost equally in the last 20 years, 12-8. Trust us. Oh, sign a petition to Governor General Mary Simon. And Pierre Poilievre says, God save the king. You can go on Twitter. The day Queen Elizabeth died, he said, God save the king. Hail bends the knee to King Charles III, who Mary Simon wishes to bring in and implement in Canada. It's all over the news today, just hours ago. I am now taking her, in her panic, I'm taking her to the UNSC, where King Charles has no fucking power there. Powerless piece of shit. And you know what? Boris Johnson and all his former lunatic losers can run and hide. They can resign, skip elections. Oh, we'll just carry it over. Canada's days are numbered. UK gets away with it. I can't change UK. They're a UNSC P5. But I can promise you all this. Russia's had it up to here. It was clearly spoken on their first day yesterday, Monday. All of it's published. I recorded videos for you all. You see a stumped, stunned, fucked United States of America. They're shocked at the UN and what transpired in the General Assembly. How many nations, never mind the breaking up of Europe, how everybody's getting behind all of Africa, all of the Middle East, all of South America as they gravitate to Russia and China's narrative. Like, maybe USA is completely in the wrong. Maybe there's a problem with going back to the old world order. Maybe most of the world doesn't want to do it. And maybe the days of people like Mary Simon and the Designs of Canada, you know, people who sacrifice their own people in literal genocide. This woman's no hero to First Peoples. She may have Inuit blood, but she's also got dirty, sick, dark crown power forever and a day in her family, and a genocide that is rich in a color of red blood that can only be matched by Justin Trudeau and his dirty, filthy family. And that's a first person on their own people. So it makes Mary Simon a heck of a lot worse. But when guys like Pierre Poilievre create fictions, e-petitions that he knows are never going to go anywhere because he already swore on his knee to Governor General Mary Simon. Folks, he did it live, he did it publicly, and he's lying to you. He's just as filthy, sick, and perverted as the narcissist nutcase Justin Trudeau, who currently has full control and full power and authority over Governor General Mary Simon. In fact, she's recruiting as many dirty Indian chiefs in the Indian Act system as she can to try and stop what's coming in less than 6 days. She's trying to thwart everything we're doing, and I don't see it working. Why is she not addressing the Saskatchewan First Act? Why is she not addressing land back, all First Peoples, all Canadians? Why does she want slaves on a limited amount of land? Why is her and her family from a wealthy, elite, rich source, while absolutely all of her Inuit ancestry is suffering to the likes of which can't even be measured except by numbered Indian treaties here in Canada, and absolutely the unceded Indians? How come? Because she's one with the crowd. She proved it. Pierre Poilievre proves it. He preys on the gullibility, the ignorance of the subjects, and equally all the savages. Our party of the Canadian Constitutionalists, is going to shatter the realm of a mirror of lies, wickedness. We're going to highlight the crown like nobody prior in all of Canadian history. We're going to show everybody that it's one crown, one disease of the most putrid type of human beings in the most longest running history of human sickness, depravity, and disgust. It's what led to World War I, World War II, and threatens all of us with World War III. It will not be those elites whose children are marched out to death. It will not be those elites whose children suffer in extreme poverty, disease, starvation, and radical weakening of their cultures, their beliefs, their values, their religions, and absolutely their financial success, as it's eroded to unprecedented levels that can only be found in the history of monarchical systems. Fat cats at the top, while the vast majority lives in literal squalor and shit. Right now, go north. Go look at the Inuit. Go look at the northern numbered treaties out west in some parts of northern Quebec and northern Ontario. Apparently Mary Simon hails from. But you can look at her family in the Hudson Bay and how well they did with the Hudson Bay Company. It's pathetic. It's gross. She is nothing but a Justin Trudeau liberal liar. She is not First People. Maybe by genetics. Maybe in genetics, maybe she holds somewhere in the 60 percentage points of Inuit blood. But that is not her grow up. That's not what she was accustomed to. She was from an elite society, the worst of the crown. She's an Uncle Tom, as is Pierre Poilievre, and certainly as is Justin Trudeau and his entire family. And Canadians need to know this, that these low-life, despicable human beings will stop at nothing to destroy all of you. And they do. That petition was a rat document to get as many Canadian rats as possible to rat on themselves to the crown they control. And that's how the Canadian system works. Since 1952, you can't write letters to the royal family. It's all a lie. It goes to the government's crown every time. They convince you to to rat yourself out to the government. And they all work together. Pierre Poilievre will never use the crown except for his own benefit, as does Justin Trudeau, as he did entirely throughout his reign as a Privy Council member. Everything the man says is a lie. Everything he did while he was in power in that crown shows you everything he says today is a lie. And if you don't believe it, look at Aaron O'Toole. big, bad, dark blue Tory gets leadership turned into a piece of shit within literally weeks. Now Pierre Poilievre has to lie all the way to the election. He's got to win the title of Prime Minister, and then like Harper, he can flip on a dime and go with the Trudeau narrative, like they all do for the history of Canada. I can tell you as an Albertan, everything Harper told us out of Calgary, way back when I was a young man, he never completed a single fucking thing. In fact, it was all opposite. We got him to power out of Calgary, and from there he went on a lunatic mission of corruption and greed of the centralized crown. National Socialist, fascist. That's what a conservative, liberal, NDP, Green, Bloc, PPC, the list goes on and on and on. There is no difference. Only which number of elites you've taken into your bosom that financially depend on you, and you grease them so they grease you. Not you, the people. You, the people, don't exist in the constitutional acts of Canada at all. And at the very end, it tells you you are subject to these elites, these divinity that you're allowed to legally vote for every 4 years. They rule. It's their country, not yours. That's why the Crown lands federally and provincially. That's why there are no real property rights. It's why the rules change every 4 years depending on the government in. They will take from you, they will tax you without representation, and they will never lift them. They never do. You will never find a conservative who ever lifted any taxes, ever. They only add more fees, more taxes, or continue on the status quo. Never have taxes ever disappeared in Canada. There's no such thing as conservative in Canada. There is only Crown. They can use a name conservative. They can use a name liberal. But they are very autocratic, and they have one mission: follow the constitutional acts of Canada, cement the Crown, and make the elite wealthy and rich. That's my video, folks. Share, share, share. Don't be suckered by the Crown. Don't be fooled. Share, share, share. It's credible, real, and verifiable. Within 1 week's time, you're going to start to see the truth of it. Watch the UNSC presentations. And beyond that, it's Colombia. And I pray that the Chief Justice of Colombia that I met just weeks ago will present, as I asked, for all the treaty Indians in Canada, that I asked to go through the Indian Act, for at least USA and Russia, and USA and Russia's numbers, so they can look at it. They can measure tuberculosis. They can measure the numbers that Russia has and USA has and compare them to Canada and tell me there hasn't been a gross violation of human genocide, pure, unfiltered human genocide. Thanks, folks. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. It's coming down very fast. Bye now.